Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome back to the free-to-play review. So today's topic is going to be the latest iteration of the summon pool, specifically the Shadowkin summon pool. So we've returned to the faction unity-based summon pools, and this one is the Shadowkin, which features the headline champion, of course, of Tetsuya, the Deliverer, the bane of my existence in hard mode faction wars, or one of the banes of my existence. Good God, this guy, as an enemy combatant, is absolutely destructive. But if you were to have him on your account, from what I've heard, he's a lot less menacing on offense, but you never know. Maybe for the average player, he could be a huge boost to your account. Aside from him, we do have a decent selection of other legendaries. We have Harima, really in my opinion at least, one of the best defensive based nukers in the game. She's kind of seen less use now with more of the more modern champions have been added to the game, but there's nothing in the game like her passive. Maybe I guess the Fortify buff, maybe we'll see if that shakes up into more in the future. Mishinaki, good, like all-around PvE champion, great for Hydra, Chimera, all these types of things. If you want to see my showcase of Mishinaki, you can check that out in the upper right-hand corner. Kyoku's a decent ally protection champion, but she's kind of underwhelming in the current era. It's kind of like the Seeker-esque passive there that can activate and spread a little bit of healing as well as increased defense. Lady Kimmy, kind of one of those speed demon champions, really strong in like Doom Tower. Thinking like Dark Fae, she could be like one of your alternative speed boosters in PvP in certain situations, so she's pretty strong overall. And then honorable mention, I guess, to Yukimasu, who's a previous fusion. I wasn't really that impressed overall with him, but I've heard some decent things about how he's performed in PvP, but I don't think he's meta or anything like that. So when it comes to the epics, it is, as usual, fairly underwhelming when it comes to the Shadowkin, but a couple of decent mentions here. Taragi the Frog, one of the best starter champions, so to speak, if you get him early enough. Hands down, the best epic to start building yourself a nested ally protection team for Demon Lord clan boss progression. Kinegashi is one of the few pure revivers in the faction, so she's kind of good for that. You can build her relatively tanky. She's support, but there's a mini ally attack Terminator fill in her kit as well. Fanchi, definitely more endgame / niche in terms of Fire Knight, but lots of multi-hitters in his kit, and he makes a good champion to help deal with like Fire Knight in the Cursed City and other areas, restrictive content. Nogorio, I've heard, is a decent nuker for an epic. Gory is okay in hard mode Fire Knight iterations, but he's kind of fallen out of the meta once kind of Newt and Crowd in the blue kind of came into the mix. And then last but not least, Hatatsu, decent support, increased defense, continuous heals, AoE decreased defense, and then Leech on the A1. I must say, this is definitely not the most enticing summon pool they've had to date. A lot of the champions aren't that good. I guess maybe Noble, if you want to empower Ninja, could be good. But there's, half of the legendaries are good. That's kind of, not really what you want to see from a summon pool, especially if you have to invest a lot of resources into it, which we'll come back to in a second. A little bit of foreshadowing there. But in terms of this particular summon, pretty par for the course. 40 fragments to get the summon. 6% chance to get a legendary, i.e. this is effectively a Sacred Shard. And as I always like to highlight, that means that there's a 94% chance that you'll walk away with an epic. So if you're only doing the air quotes free summon, then there is a 94% chance you will just get one of the epics and not get a legendary. So just keep that in mind, temper your expectations. In terms of the air quotes free summon, this one is quite unfortunate because it is locked behind a Soul Chase tournament. Now, I'm a huge fan, objectively, of Soul Chase tournaments because you are rewarded for getting better things out of your soul stones and not just for pulling soul stones in general. However, there is unfortunately not a combination of this plus some boosted rates in the Altar of Souls, which is like the creme de la creme of soul events, at least in my opinion, in terms of getting the most bang for your buck. And I was kind of hoping that this was going to be one with boosted rates, but unfortunately it's not. So this one just doesn't feel worth it. You have the base rates of soul stones, which are pretty trash to begin with, and then you have a relatively underwhelming summon pool. Now, of course, you could just bank the 40 fragments and save it for the next summon pool, but then you're kind of beholden to whatever that one features. So could be good, could be bad, you never know. It's kind of a gamble either way. But yeah, as you can kind of tell the way I'm talking about it, I'm not actively pursuing this particular free air quote summon. It just doesn't really feel worth it. I definitely do have the soul stones to do it. I've been kind of sitting on mine for a while, just waiting for a good event that's worth my resources, and this one is definitely not it. So I'll be more interested in maybe the next Hero's Path that features boosted rates or something like that offers something of value. I always want to get something more than just the items in from the soul stones, just because, I don't know, historically for me, soul stones have not really yielded all that much to make me really feel like they were, I always wanted to kind of chase these types of things. However, I will mention, and I do like to mention this because someone pointed out to me maybe sometime last year that if you can get to 150 points, it's a really ridiculously good value of 150 gems and the 300 energy. You can see here, I already have the 300 energy so far, 110 points, and that was literally just from claiming the anomalous titan event soul. So I saved the 1-star and the 3-star soul for Empress, and just in case there was a soul chase, there was one today. So we're starting today. Of course, there's probably not going to be another one in the next week in some change, so I don't have to worry about saving these for the next one, but nonetheless, it was nice to kind of get some free points for that. But yeah, point being, if you can pull, 30, 40, 50 mortal soul stones and get yourself 150 points, it's definitely worth doing, even with the base rates, just because it's a really good value to get to 150 and get the gems and the energy that can go a long way in other events and tournaments. So the 2 Ember Souls getting me to 110 points for free. It makes this really easy to do. I just need 4 more points, so hopefully that could be done in 110 pop, but maybe it'll take 2 or 3 depending upon RNG, of course. But I'm definitely going to go out to the 150 and then walk away with whatever we get from there. But overall, just going to be skipping out on the soul chase and thus effectively skipping out on this summon pool in general. Now, in terms of a formal recommendation, it kind of depends. If you do care about this summon pool, or you're enticed by one or a couple of the legendaries, you can always shoot your shot. There's a 6% chance you get a legendary, so you never know. Crazier things could happen, but again, most likely the outcome is that you're going to walk away with just an epic champion. But eventually, of course, statistically speaking, you do have to get a legendary, so this could be that one time where it does happen for you. In terms of getting the free summon, though, again, it kind of depends. Getting to 1,000 points in the soul chase is actually harder than you might think it is to do with soul stones, especially without boosted rates. So you can end up dropping like 100 plus mortals and still barely get to 1,000 points if you get really bad luck. So just keep that in mind. It's a relatively high risk, and compared to the like pulling shards, it's a lot easier to kind of make up lost ground with mystery shards or other sources of points, at least when it comes to a champion chase tournament. And so you can kind of fill in the gaps if you're kind of short, but in soul stones, once you run out, unless you're buying them, you're kind of SOL. So again, highly disrecommended in terms of going for this one, but if you're compelled to go for it, or you're just itching to pull some soul stones, it could be a decent value for you, depending upon what you're looking at getting from this from the selection of the champions in the summon pool. So there you have it. That's going to do it for the free-to-play review of the Shadowkin summon pool. Let me know in the comment section down below what your plan is relative to this iteration of the summon pool. Do you care about the champions being featured here, 1 or 2 or 3 of them perhaps? And are you compelled to go for the 1,000 points in the soul chase? Does that feel like it's a good return on investment for your soul stones? As always, if you did find this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and feel free to hit the subscribe button down below as well if and only if you're enjoying the content overall on the channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.